Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Preparation H Park in the City of Rainbows. Before we get to the Major League Baseball game that you paid to see, we have a very special treat for you. Tonight, we are celebrating Pride by honoring 10 couples who are entering into holy matrimony. They is marrying them, he is marrying him, and she is marrying someone choosing to identify as a tree. Isn't woke love great? Woohoo! Ooga! Ooga! You know, this story was somewhat overlooked this weekend, with the New York Knicks winning the NBA Finals and the World Cup dominating the headlines, plus the amazing event that the UFC put together at the White House last night. With all of those unifying events happening simultaneously, the real unifying event was completely overlooked. Friday night was a special night in the City of Rainbows. The San Francisco Giants, one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball, Friday night was game one of their uncompelling 3-game series with the Chicago Cubs. But the baseball was not the real draw. The professional baseball wasn't the reason that dozens of people showed up to the ballpark looking like kids dressed for Halloween, or as deacons at Woke United Methodist prefer to call it, the Butt Bongo Festival. The real reason that dozens of people showed up to Preparation H Park Friday night, it was Pride Night again. I know we're in the middle of woke Christmas. I know this is supposed to be the most wonderful time of the year. Men dressed as queens and women scream, "That girl has a beard." It's the most wonderful time of the year. This is the time of year when gifts are being exchanged, tuck-friendly bathing suits, or as the deacons prefer to call it, lingerie. Grocery stores are having a difficult time keeping up with the demand of fresh wiener. I know everyone is in a festive mood. I know it's supposed to be a time of celebration, and Uncle Casey doesn't want to be the party pooper, but how many Pride nights are we going to have? How many times are we going to have pride shoved in our face? I saw this accurate description of Pride Night on Twitter this weekend. As you can see, deacons at Woke United Methodist have the trombone and they are blasting pride in our face. How many people bought tickets Friday night to see 10 weddings instead of a Major League Baseball game? I don't know about you guys, but I don't like attending weddings for free. If I don't get invited to a wedding, I send a thank you card. Dear soon-to-be divorced, thank you for not inviting me to your wedding. Attached is a check for $500 that will help pay for your future divorce. Signed, your favorite uncle, KC. I'm not going to a wedding where they're offering free food and uncomfortable conversations. So I damn sure don't want to pay to see 10 weddings. Apparently, I am not the only one that feels this way. Friday night, Landen Roupp. He was the starting pitcher for the San Francisco Giants. Now, Landen Roupp is a devout Christian, which means he knows the rainbow is a promise from God to never flood the entire earth again, instead of being a symbol of pride, which the Lord makes very clear in the Bible, pride is no bueno. As he took the field Friday night, Landen Roupp was wearing the mandatory rainbow hat featuring the Giants logo dipped in every color of the rainbow. But there was something a little bit different about Landen Roupp's rainbow hat. There appeared to be an alteration, something that made this particular rainbow hat stand out from all the others. In an act of clear defiance, Landen Roupp wrote a Bible verse on his mandatory rainbow hat. The verse was from chapter 9 in the book of Genesis. Like I said, it's God's covenant to the earth that he will never unleash his wrath by flooding the entire earth again like he did in the days of Noah. The rainbow is the symbol of that covenant. What a coincidence that the rainbow is now being used to celebrate pride, which, according to the Bible, is a sin. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed this, but according to theologians, the devil does not have the power to create, but he does have the power to corrupt. It's almost like he takes the rainbow, which God created as a covenant between himself and mankind, and he uses the rainbow to celebrate pride, which the Bible refers to as a sin. Strange. After the game Friday night, Landen Roupp spoke to the media. He wasn't asked about the 4 runs that he gave up in 4 innings. He wasn't asked about the Giants losing another game. He wasn't asked about their season, which is already over in the month of June. Landen Roupp was asked to atone for his sin. He was asked about his clear violation of the woke commandments. Unfortunately for the media, Landen refused to back down. Watch for yourself.
It's just about God's covenant and a promise that he makes to us, that, his faithfulness and his mercy. And it's just kind of something I believe in, and I stand firm in that. Thankfully, we live in a country where, we have the freedom to believe what we want.
Landen Roupp is not the only player in Major League Baseball rejecting pride. Matter of fact, we're starting to see more and more athletes speak out against it. A couple of years ago, NHL players refused to taste the rainbow. Last week, Blake Trinan, a pitcher for the Dodgers, he refused to attend the Pride Parade. Next week, instead of having a celebration of Wiener, the Texas Rangers, they're having Faith and Family Night. What a concept! The Rangers are actually listening to their consumers, and they are hosting an event where parents feel safe bringing their children. The question is, why aren't we seeing more of that? For a while, it seemed like every team in sports was celebrating pride, so why don't we see more teams celebrating faith and family? Uncle Casey, maybe it makes the players uncomfortable. We live in a very diverse society. Diversity is our strength. We have to think about other people's feelings. For starters, I think a lot of professional athletes are Christian. Matter of fact, I think the overwhelming majority are Christian. Look at the New York Knicks. Damn near their entire roster believes in the same faith. Plus, Christianity is the dominant religion in America and always has been. It's also the faith that seems to be silenced. Why are we having to sacrifice our beliefs to consider the feelings of others? Meanwhile, they get to celebrate theirs, and we're expected to celebrate with them. Someone please make it make sense. Remember a couple of months ago when teams were celebrating and honoring Ramadan? Christmas Day is the biggest day of the regular season in the NBA. How many NBA teams are honoring Jesus on Christmas? I'll give you a hint. The number rhymes with hero. Like I've told you guys before, I don't think most normal people have a problem with pride. If the LGBT community in your city wants to have a parade once a year, who cares? Normal people aren't going downtown to rain on their parade. But the problem with pride It's no longer about celebrating the LGBT. Pride has been hijacked by doofus Democrats. It's no longer about orientation, it's about indoctrination. The party of the donkey. They are using pride to push their ideology. According to doofus Democrats, compliance is not voluntary, it's mandatory. You think Landen Roupp wanted to wear a rainbow hat Friday night? You think his wife woke up on Friday morning and said, "Honey, I've got the perfect hat to match your uniform. This hat has every color so it matches everything." Uncle Casey, why would his wife be picking out his clothes? Landen Roupp is a grown man. Yeah, if you ever see a married couple on a date, pretty much guaranteed that his wife dressed him. Anytime me and my wife go out, she is picking out my clothes. In her mind, we have to match because she's going to take pictures, and in those pictures, our clothes have to be matching. They have to go together. Otherwise, it's some kind of fashion violation. But anyway, you think Landen Roupp wanted to wear the rainbow hat? No. Let me ask you something. If the San Francisco Giants made it mandatory for every player to have John 3:16 on their hat, no matter their religion, no matter their background or their faith, every player had to have John 3:16, what would the reaction be? This is outrageous! The Giants are pushing their faith on their employees. This is illegal! So, why are athletes being asked to endorse pride? Me personally, I don't want any of this in sports. I go to church on Sunday morning to hear a sermon. I'm not going to an NBA game on a random Tuesday night to participate in the Lord's Supper. The only pride I want to see in baseball is the pride teams feel when they accomplish something great. Outside of that, there should be no pride in baseball. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys later.